Hey everybody, Chris Linsell here, senior writer and real estate coach for theclose.com. My team and I have identified 5 unexpected things that realtors are getting wrong about email marketing, and I want to share them with you right now. If you're in the email marketing game or if you're about to jump in, you're going to want to hear this. Let's get started. So the fact is, email marketing, it works. It's measurable. It's a reliable way to communicate with your clients, your prospects, and your leads, and it gets results. But many realtors that I speak to, they're not hitting their goals when it comes to email marketing, and they're not really sure why. They're following all the conventional wisdom. They're using strategies like content planning, A/B testing, regular scheduling of their emails, and providing clear, consistent calls to action, but they're still not hitting their marks. If this describes your experience and some frustration you're feeling, it's probably because you're making some of these less thought of hidden mistakes that I'm going to go over right now. Mistake number 1, our email subject line, it actually kind of sucks. We work so hard to make our emails the best that they can be. But as realtors, we often forget that the subject line is, without a doubt, the most important factor when it comes to whether or not someone decides to open our emails. I mean, think about your subject line as the curb appeal for your new real estate listing. If it isn't inviting, if it doesn't give a sneak peek of the value inside, well, nobody's coming to your listing and nobody's opening your email. On the other side of that coin, think about what happens when your subject line overstates the value of the email itself. It's the same thing that happens when a house looks absolutely beautiful on the outside, but completely falls flat on the inside. Buyers, or in our case, email readers, feel tricked. They feel let down. They ultimately may choose to not see any more houses with us or read any more of our email. So when it comes to writing email subject lines, do 3 things and do them well. Focus on providing value right in the subject line. That's where our value provision begins. Focus on giving a sneak preview of what the rest of the email is going to be about. Set some expectations and then meet them. And then finally, talk to somebody like a person. Don't talk like a robot. Talk to them like you're meeting somebody over lunch, and this is what gets them to sit at the table. Mistake number 2, it's not letting our readers reply to us. As real estate marketing skews further and further into the digital space, it's easy to think about email marketing less as a conversation and more as a bullhorn. After all, we've got power. We've got power to send a message to thousands of people all at once with a single click of a button. But remember, email marketing is not about that power, it's about correspondence. When our email turns into a one-way megaphone, it becomes more like a billboard on the side of the highway. Sure, people are going to see it, but they're less likely to interact with it. They're less likely to respond to us when something is of interest because your email marketing has just turned into being present rather than being interactive. You can avoid this mistake by actively encouraging your audience to respond to you. Use email elements like invitations for quizzes or questionnaires. Give people a chance to sign up for things that actually interest them. Go as far as specifically inviting them to reply directly to your email, the way that human beings do. Ask for their thoughts, ask for their feelings, ask for their responses. And when they do respond, you gotta engage with them in a timely manner. Make sure that they know there's a person on the other end of that email. Mistake number 3, overdoing it on automation. So I'll be the first person to admit, I love automated email. When a contact list grows beyond a certain threshold, it becomes impossible to maintain active contact with everyone and still have time to, run the rest of your business. If you're a subscriber here to this YouTube channel, which, by the way, it totally should be, You've heard me talk about email automation options and benefits on platforms like LionDesk, Top Producer, or Property Base, just to name a few. Guys, I'm a fan of email automation, but there's a tipping point. There's a tipping point when your automation stops being effective and, in fact, becomes a negative. When your messaging is so automated that it feels cold, manufactured, or worst of all, impersonal, your response rates are going to start dropping, which is often followed by a drop in open rates, which is then often followed by a rise in unsubscribe rates. You can combat this by using the automated tools, but do a double check on the messages going out to make sure that they feel like they're coming from you as a person and not just you an email address. I like to do this weekly. I do a weekly review of the email messaging that goes out. It takes about 30 or even 45 minutes. Once a week, I look at all the automated messaging that's going out. I look how people are responding to it, and I look for ways that I can improve it so that it feels more like email coming from me personally, rather than just email hitting people's inbox as a part of a scheduled cadence. Mistake number 4. Not taking a mobile-first approach to email. It seems like common knowledge at this point, but it's worth restating. The younger our buying and selling cohorts get, the more likely they are to be consuming our marketing messages, including email, on their mobile devices. In fact, a study by the email marketing company Email Monday found that people under the age of 40 are nearly twice as likely to open our marketing messages, including email, on their phones than they are on their desktop or laptop computer. This means that your email messages have to be first optimized for mobile phone users. And this is something that is actually not the default for most of us, because the platforms that we use to design email marketing, places like our CRM, or services like MailChimp or Constant Contact, these are ones that we use on computers. The strategy here is pretty clear. We need to be relentlessly putting the mobile experience of our email marketing front and center. Before we finalize a message to be sent, we need to give it the highest level of scrutiny via our phones. Send those test emails. Open them on your phone. Get your friends or your colleagues to do the same and ask them to give you some feedback. Don't ignore the desktop experience. That's still important too, but we have to put the mobile first experience at the front of the line if we want to be successful and hit our goals. And you know what? If you need a little extra motivation here, just remember, our ultimate goal with real estate marketing is to spur conversations that lead to client relationships that ultimately lead us to the closing table. When someone opens your email on their phone, they're literally one tap away from calling you and starting that conversation. You've got them right where you want them. So make sure that message is a perfect mobile experience. And finally, mistake number 5, not marketing to your audience in small groups. Guys, this mistake is all about missing a marketing strategy called self-segmentation. With self-segmentation, you give your audience a chance to identify what's important to them, which gives you the insight that you need to provide them the value they need to move down the funnel and closer to a transaction. As people sort themselves into groups, the number of messages that you send is going to grow, and so is the level of the personalization in those messages. If you want your email messages to become effective, this is a necessary step. After all, how can you provide value to everyone if everyone values different things? I mean, what's important to your prospective buyers is likely not as important to your prospective sellers. And what's important to your past clients is likely not important to your close friends and your sphere of influence. There are a couple of easy ways that we can encourage self-segmentation. The first is to directly ask people, which audience category do they fit in? You can do this with surveys or quizzes or literally just emailing them and asking them. The second way is a little bit more passive. It's to provide resources that you know would appeal to specific groups and then just watch and see who requests them. For instance, if you offered an ebook all about how to prepare the kitchen of your home for sale, you could watch who downloads that ebook, and the people who do are likely considering listing their home in the near future. And they're likely doing it for the first time because they're looking for tips. The bottom line here is, as the size of our audience increases, so should the complexity of our segmentation. Top-notch email marketing realtors have just a single list of people, but have a dozen different audiences. That's it, everybody. Thanks for watching. I hope you've gained some insight into these 5 unexpected email marketing mistakes that realtors make and are ready to take the strategies that I've laid out here into your business so you can blow past these hurdles and continue towards success. If you like this video, I'd really appreciate it if you hit the like button. And while you're doing so, go ahead and subscribe to our channel and hit that little notification bell. That way we can let you know whenever we've got new real estate content to share with you. Thanks, everyone. We'll see you next time.